Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, to another deck profile video. And today's deck profile that we'll be going over is the Red Dragon Archfiend profile. Fun fact, I very recently made this account, not account, but made this deck, and you know what? It works really well. It works really well, not gonna lie. This deck mostly, the main purpose of this deck is to get out your bigger boss monsters like Red Supernova Dragon or Scarred Archfiend Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, or Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, or Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, or just Red Archfiend. Just pretty much bringing out your synchro monsters, or if possible, bringing out Skull Dread or Goddess of the Underworld or Goddess of the Closed World. So, anyways, cards that you need in this deck are a couple of, when I mean a couple, I mean a lot of tuners, because trust me, you're going to need a lot of them. You're going to need, you're going to need 3 red resonators for gaining life points from Red Rising Dragon. And trust me, that's very important for later, among other reasons. Then, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So, say for example, if you're running like Sangan in this deck and trying to get out more cards or trying to add more cards to the hand, then this one is probably perfect, or this one's probably, yeah. Or you could just do Crimson Resonator, which if you control exactly one Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, which it's very important if you have Red Resonator in your deck, or just any other Resonator monster in your deck. Just because, trust me, you'll need it. Then you can use Resonator, or in this case, Soul Resonator with Bone Archfiend to lower its level to 3 to make Red Rising Dragon. Then use Red Rising Dragon's effect to summon Crimson Resonator. Then use Crimson Resonator to bring out Red Resonator in Force Resonator. I don't know why, but I just have that in the deck just for fun, I guess. To bring out Red Supernova Dragon. I know other people, they choose other lower level monsters to bring out Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Then use this card to bring out, then use this card as fuel for Supernova, then use that effect to bring out Red Dragon Archfiend. Which, I don't know, that seems kind of a bit too much. Just to bring out this one, then to use another one. That just seems a bit too much for me. In my opinion, at least. Then, wow, that was a mad voice crack. Then you have your other monsters in the deck as well. like Earthbound Prisoner Stone, which you can discard from your hand to add one level Fiend, to add one level 3 or lower Fiend Tuner from your deck to your hand. Unfortunately, it does say that you cannot special summon any other monsters from the extra deck except for Fusion and Synchro monsters, which absolutely does suck. But, I mean, you pretty much knew what you were doing when you were running Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper. So, anyways, then, now let's go on to the cards. So, the cards you have is Resonator Call, obviously, because every single Resonator deck must have this card in hand, or have this card in the deck. Then you have Resonate Destruction, which I personally run this card. I don't know if other people run the card, but me personally, I like to run the card because, I mean, if I can use this to pop a card on the field for free, then I might as well run it anyway. Then we have Crimson Gaia, which allows me to add one Dragon Archfiend, or a card that allows me to add Dragon Archfiend from my deck or graveyard to the hand. Then when Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, change all monsters my opponent controls to face down defense position, or if a monster is on the field is destroyed by battle or a card effect, I can special summon one Red Dragon Archfiend from my graveyard. And I don't know if you know, but this one can become Red Dragon Archfiend. This one can become Red Dragon Archfiend. This one's just the original. And yeah, these, mostly these three I can bring back from the grave pretty easily. Then you have, then you have Resonator Command. Discard one Resonator card, then, or monster in this case, then add one level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand. Which, by the way, outside of the Resonator deck, is a really good, like, Exodia card, or really good in an Exodia deck, in my opinion, at least. Then going on to the traps, you have Threatening Roar, Evenly Matched, or in case your opponent has busted and broken fields. Then you have Red Rain and Red Zone. Now on to the Board Breakers and Hand Traps. You obviously have your, traditional and classic Raigeki. Then you have, for at least Board Breaker wise, then you have Evenly Matched. And, I don't know any other Board Breakers there are. Then for Hand Traps, you have Ash Blossom, then you have Forbidden Droplet, then you have Impermanence Called By, and a couple of other cards in hand. Then you have a couple of other hand traps as well, but I don't personally run too many hand traps, because if I run too many hand traps, then they just become bricks in the hand. Or they just become bricks. At least in my opinion. Then, let's go on to the extract monsters. You have Red Rising Dragon, which when Synchro Summon can special summon one Resonator monster from the graveyard, special summon it, which you can use with Crimson Resonator. But we all know that combo. I don't think I have to explain the combo. Then we have Lightning Warrior, which I just have to have, because if I destroy a monster's opponent by battle Well, if this card destroys a monsters by battle, I can, and sends it to the graveyard, I can inflict 300 damage to for each card my opponent has in their hand. Which is pretty busted and broken, not gonna lie. Then, you know, you have your classic Red Dragon Archfiend. If you attack a defense position monster, destroy all defense position monsters your opponent controls. Then you have Scarlet Dragon Archfiend. You can destroy as many special summon effect monsters on the field with the attack that is less or equal to than this card. Then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. Then you have Scarred Dragon, which, if this card is sent from the monster zone to grave, you can special summon one Red Dragon Archfiend from the extra deck and treat it as a synchro summon. Then, if this card was sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a dark synchro monster, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, which is pretty much a lightning storm. Then hot red dragon archfiend, target one card your opponent controls, negate its effects to the end of this turn. Which, by the way, is very busted and broken if you are in battle phase and if your opponent activates, say, a card like Magical Cylinder or a Mirror Force or some type of Mirror Force in the battle phase. Absolutely broken. Or, I don't know if this will work, but evenly matched. Maybe it can negate evenly matched. I have no clue. I have no clue if this will 100% work or not, but it is a quick effect, so maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows? Then you have hot red dragon archfiend Bane. Tribute one monster you control, then target one dragon archfiend monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon two tuna monsters with the same level, one from the deck and the other one from the graveyard in defense position. Now, I don't know on why I would use this. I guess for other materials anyway. I guess for like Red Nova Dragon, which, by the way, is a busted card by itself, but I mean, who really cares about it? We mostly care about Supernova Dragon. Cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Gains 500 attack for each tuner in the graveyard. When a monster's opponent declares an attack, you can target the attacking monster. Banish this card. If you do, negate the attack. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was banished by its own effect this turn, you can special summon this banished card. Now, not gonna lie, that's pretty busted. But obviously not as busted as Red Supernova Dragon. Right. Once per turn, when your opponent's monster effect is activated, or when an opponent monster declares an attack, you can banish this card. Also banish all cards your opponent controls, which is pretty much a complete board wipe. Say like this is a Zeus, but if Zeus didn't destroy your cards as well, then once per turn during your next end phase, after this card was banished by its own effect, special summon this banished card. Then you have, your two links in the deck. I mean, I personally run links. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. Skull Dread, we pretty much know what it is. Underworld Goddess, I pretty much just got this like yesterday. If this card is Link Summon, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. This Link Summon monster is unaffected by opponents of activated card effects unless they target this card. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that summons a monster from the graveyard, quick effect, you can negate the activation. Now, this card is pretty much I think, skill drained. Yeah, it's pretty much a skill drain for the field, at least on your opponent's side. Because once when your opponent, sees this card, it's absolute wraps for them. It's absolute wrap up and pack up. And yeah, that is about it for the Red Hot Dragon deck profile. If you guys want to see more deck profiles, let me know in the comments down below. And I shall see you all later. This has been Mr. Blake. So yeah.